Hey everybody, it's Brian Copeland here. I have got a special message, and this is going out to all of my MAGA friends and all of the people who support MAGA who may not be my friends, but I want to put a human face on something. I'm going to tell you a very personal story. This is something that I have not gone public with, and I'm going public with it now because I think that it's important. About 3.5 years, maybe 4 years ago, I was walking through Costco. And I'll be honest and tell you, I love Costco. I just do. I adore Costco. And so I'm there, and I picked up something like a 40 pounds of rosemary for that price. I gotta get it. And so if you ever need any rosemary for your chicken, reach out to me. I got like probably 38 pounds of this rosemary left. So I buy it, and I'm walking out the store, and as you walk out of the Costco that I go to, you walk past the optometry area. And so I wear glasses, and I'm nearsighted, and for years, since I was a kid, I've had to wear glasses to read, and I've got to wear glasses when I drive at night right now, or at least I did at the time. So I'm looking at frames, and I thought, well, I haven't had any new frames in a while. I start trying frames on, and these frames are kind of cool. So I go to buy them, and I'm told, well, you kind of have to have the optometrist look at them first. We can't just give them to you. So, it could have been like years since I had an eye exam. So I go in, and they have an optometrist at Costco, and the optometrist looks at my eye and says, it looks like you've got glaucoma. And I said, I've got glaucoma. I just, really? My vision has not changed or anything? He says, well, I could be wrong, but here's a referral to an ophthalmologist who is in town. You go in and you get an examination, and he'll tell you. So I go to this ophthalmologist, and he looks at my eyes and examines me and checks the eye pressure and everything, and says, yeah, you got glaucoma. You are in the early stages of it. But fortunately, it's early enough that we caught it. And as long as we keep an eye on it and do certain things, you're going to be fine. In fact, there was a certain surgery that he was able to give me, this eye surgery, that, I had my eyes patched up for like 2 days, and it released all the pressure and everything's fine. And when he told me that it was lucky that I was caught early, he said that the woman he had just examined in the examination room next to me, who was my age, she let it go. And she didn't get it checked, and didn't get it checked, and didn't get it checked. And now she's at a point where there is absolutely nothing that can be done for her. He had to tell her, you're going to go blind. There's nothing that I can do for you. You are going to lose your sight. So fortunately for me, I didn't. I had the surgery. My eyesight is fine. I go in I think it's about every 3 or 4 months. I go in, they check my eye pressure, and if there is some kind of deviation in my eye pressure, I think I can have the surgery done again if it's necessary. But my eyes are okay. In fact, they found I have an astigmatism, cataracts. They found cataracts in my eye during one of the checks. And they were able to take I had cataract surgery just in one eye. They said, you're kind of young for that. Usually it's older you get it. But they took it out, and I had no idea how bad my vision was until I had the cataract surgery. Now I don't need glasses at all for anything. Here's why I tell you this. Because I am self-employed. I make my living through comedy, through acting, through producing, through the novels and things that I write, but none of those are like having a 9-to-5 job somewhere where you've got benefits and you've got medical and you've got dental. I've got to pay for all my medical out of my pocket. And any insurance that I have to pay for that, out of my pocket. So because of the Affordable Care Act, I'm insured. Because of the ACA, I am insured. And even though, since they are letting the subsidies lapse, it looks like, I got my statement with how much my premium's going to go up. And I'm lucky, there are people I know whose premiums quadrupled, and they're going to lose their insurance because there's no way they can afford to pay $2,000-3,000 a month, to cover their families. Me, I'm an empty nester. It's just me I got to worry about now. And the reason I bring this up is, had I been looking at those frames in Costco and they said, you got to see the optometrist, and had I not had the Affordable Care Act, I would have just said, never mind. And I would have walked out to my car. My vision's fine, no big deal. And I would have let it go, like the woman who the ophthalmologist examined right before it came to me. And I would have eventually gotten to the place where the ophthalmologist would have said to me, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. You're going to lose your sight. So the point of me telling you the story is, and this is true, and I'm not being hyperbolic, if it weren't for the Affordable Care Act, I would go blind. I would go blind. And if I was one of those unfortunate people who had my premiums because of them letting the subsidies lapse, if I were one of those unfortunate people whose premiums were quadrupled or something to some ridiculous amount of money that I couldn't afford, so I'd let my insurance go, I would lose my sight and I would go blind. So, I'm telling you this. I said I've never spoken about this publicly. I'm telling you this to put a human face on it. Healthcare should not be a privilege in this, especially in this country, the richest country in the world. Healthcare should not be a privilege. Healthcare should be a right. Nobody should die or have to die because they're poor. And what really pisses me off is you have all of these people who are making the decision to allow the subsidies to lapse, who are going to have, a lot of these people are getting congressional pensions, and they will have health care and medical and dental and retirement paid for by you and by me for the rest of their lives. For the rest of their lives. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is sounding sane, go figure, who's sounding sane and who is actually fighting for them to extend the ACA subsidies. She's retiring in January. Want to know why she's retiring in January? Because that's when her retirement vests. And in come January, she's covered. She's got medical, she's got dental, she's got eye care for the rest of her life, and you're paying for it. In the meantime, they're dicking around, and they're going to let people die. And the worst part of it is the people who voted them in. 80% of the people, and fact check me, 80% of the people who rely on the ACA for medical are in red states. They're in states that voted for Trump. And this is what they get. And the rest of us have to suffer as well. So again, I'm really lucky. I'll tell you, I was sweating it because I thought, God, if it ends up being some ridiculous amount of money that I can afford, I'm going to end up with a dog and a cane. So, write to your congressman. Call your congressman, flood their office, and say to extend these damn things. And there are a number of MAGA Congress people who are now circulating a discharge petition. And what that is if, because Mike Johnson will not even bring a vote to the floor. This son of a bitch, and I'm going to call him that, a son of a fucking bitch, because if you're going to let people get sick and die because you want to kiss Donald Trump's ass, fuck you. I will flat out say that. It infuriates me. Fuck you. That you're going to let people die. And he will not even bring a vote to the floor. Worse, he won't even give a television interview right now or an interview in front of a camera unless there's a guarantee that they will not ask him about the Affordable Care Act subsidies. So you have a discharge petition that is being circulated throughout Congress. And what that does is when the speaker refuses to bring legislation to the floor, if you get enough signatures, it goes to the floor. And that's what they did with the Jeffrey Epstein files. That's why there was a vote, because they had enough signatures on the discharge petition to force it. And what happens is once you get enough signatures on the discharge petition, it takes 7 days 7 legislative days before the House can then vote on it. Well, here's the problem. I mean, it's great that now they're circulating it, and in all likelihood, they're going to get enough signatures to force it to the floor. But the way that Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, has set it up, there are only 6 legislative days left in this year. So even if it passed today, even if they got enough signatures today, there's still not enough time to have a vote before the subsidies expire. So you're talking about 20 million people. He's building a goddamn ballroom. A ballroom for $300 million. But he refuses. He's talking about giving people $2,000, $2,000 savings accounts in order to pay for their medical. $2,000. I had a bunch of labs that just did a regular, annual health, checkup thing. So, they check all your blood and all that. And your blood and your urine and all your fluids, all that. That would have been close to $2,000. So what happens if you get really sick? If you're somebody who follows me regularly, you know that earlier in the year, I had a cancer scare. There was an abnormality in my thyroid that looked like I might have thyroid cancer. And if I'd had thyroid cancer, and thyroid cancer, fortunately, if you get it, I found out people say, if you're going to get cancer, get that cancer. It's like, well, I don't want any cancer. But if I had gotten thyroid cancer, the odds of survival are like 98%. But it got to have treatment. And a $2,000 medical savings account is not going to pay for chemotherapy. It's not going to pay for radiation and for the things that you need. It's not. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Extend them. Why is this even a question? Why would you do something? I mean, I don't care how much these people hated Barack Obama. For whatever reason they hate him, all right, fine. But for that reason, is because you hated him. And let's be honest, in most cases, they hated him because he was black. That's it. I was talking to people on my podcast, Copland's Corner. We talked about it yesterday. If Barack Obama had not won in 2008, you think Trump would be president? No. I mean, this was the response, the reaction to having the first black president. But bottom line, no matter how much you hated Barack Obama, why would you want to see your fellow citizens suffer and die needlessly? I sure as hell don't want to be blind, and if, as I said, I'm lucky. I'm really, really lucky that I can afford what the increase in my premium is going to be. But a lot of people can't. And unless something is done, a lot of people are going to die who otherwise would not die. And hasn't Trump killed enough people? Do you know that out of the 325,000 Americans who died from COVID, literally 100,000 of them died because of public health information that was deliberately withheld by the Trump administration because they thought that it made the president and made the administration look bad. So they withheld it. And so there are 100,000 people who are dead who otherwise wouldn't be dead. So that's not good enough. So now we're going to kill a bunch more people because we, would rather put our energy into building a ballroom than into making sure that people are able to go to the doctor, that make sure that people are able to get preventative care. It's preventative care that saved my sight. So, call, email, do whatever it is you can. And I'm going to ask you, please like and share this video. Share this video everywhere. Share this video everywhere because I want people who don't understand what's going on and who are not as pissed off about this as I am to be as pissed off about this as I am because they should be. So that is my rant. That is my message. Please share this. Share this everywhere. Share this everywhere. Were it not for the Affordable Care Act, I wouldn't be making this video. As I said, I'd be somewhere with a dog and a cane. Thanks for listening to me rant. Let's do something. I don't know what, but do something. But at the very least, share this so this message gets around. Thanks for your time.